Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
How are you?
I'm well. You can hear me good?
I can.
Wonderful. Good to hear you.
So it's gonna take me a while to get in. How come we can't see each other? Because I haven't started the recording or what?
Let me see. I just turned my camera on now. Can you see me?
Nope.
You can't?
Mm-mm. I just hit start on this and see if that would do it for me.
Okay. I can't see you. I can just see your flag.
There you go.
Yes, wonderful. I see you now.
Awesome. So how'd it go? How's
Yeah,
your week?
pretty good. Pretty good. I give everybody an update together. GW still interested. That's
I'm,
good.
I'm talking about your day. How was your
Oh,
day?
my day. I thought you were jumping right into ANC business.
Mm-mm.
You know how it is. I've been meeting with constituents today. It is crazy. I had like phone calls today. I had to meet with constituents today. I had to talk to developers today. What about you?
Long day as always. I'm in a meeting. Mm-mm. I'm still in a meeting. I'm still in a meeting. Come on. Boy, you tell people you got a meeting, they think they're gonna tell you what time it's supposed to start and end. Who is, oh, I know who that is. Hmm,
Yeah, I know. Virtual has made us gone crazy with these meetings.
I know. Now, like, you can do, oh, now it's just virtual. You can do 2, 3 meetings in a day, 4, 5 in a week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gotten to a point now that people are like scheduling stuff on Sundays and the holidays. I'm like, what? Nothing. Nothing is sacred anymore. Gail, you remember Sunday is sacred. Like you don't
Supposed to
work,
be.
you don't do this stuff. You rest.
It used to be that way. Now
Yeah,
everybody want about they capitalists, they trying to make money. So
yeah. I'm I'm pulling back from that. I'm starting to tell people like, nope, I'm not available on Sunday. Do not schedule it, or don't expect me to be there. Don't schedule stuff on holidays. I'm not.
right.
If it's not an emergency, I'm not available.
No, it doesn't. It just get it's overdone now.
Yeah, because the holiday coming up, the 21st, and people like, well, what about the 20? Can we meet on 21st? I'm like, it's a holiday. People want to rest.
So basically, it's one of those things where it's virtual. You don't really have to engage. All you have to do is just, be there. But no, you gotta set some boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab something to drink.
Why is okay? We got one other person in 1 minute.
Okay.
Evening.
Hey, look, I just said we got one more person and what? 1 more minute. Because the only way we're gonna end on time is to start on time.
Well,
That's right.
you set the precedent.
No, for real. We can't.
I'm
I'm
down.
tired.
I'm down for starting on time and ending on time.
I am. I'm looking for that my dad going that thing I sent out. When did I send it out? I'm too far down. That's why.
What's your agenda?
Yeah. I'm too far down. I'm
Oh, yeah, I
looking
should
at
probably
something
pull
else.
that up too.
I know I sent it out. I know it's somewhere in here. And I hope I don't have to pull it up. If I do, I will. If I must, I shall. Anyway,
February the 1st, you sent it out, Gail.
yes, sir.
Got it.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
All right, let me find this, and I am going to Matter of fact, I'll start the recording. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
It's already recording. It's already set. Our COWs record automatically. You should have a
Awesome.
red button up there where you can see that it's recording.
Okay, awesome. And there is the agenda, hopefully. If it comes out, I tell you, this computer just been working so slow.
You want me to look in the budget and buy you a new one?
No. You know,
Hey, you know what? People buy new computers for the commission all the time.
I know, then that's something else I'll have to learn and adjust to. You know, I'm not.
We get you the same one you already have. It just be for ANC business.
Yeah. Okay, so it is now 6:31. I have the agenda. Can I share it? Or do I need to share it?
Well, I have it pulled up. I can see it. I don't know whether anybody else needs to see it.
Okay. So let's do a roll call. 5B01, I am here. 5B02.
Present.
5B03. Do I see? Trying to share this. 5B03. Okay, we'll come back. 5B04.
Present.
5B05.
Present.
Okay, great. 5B03.
Present. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. Okay, so you guys, I think I just shared the agenda. Do you have it in front of you? Or not? Or is it
It's a blank screen. Mine is a blank screen. You want me to try and share it?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Next, introductions, Chair Carley.
Okay, so introduction. So hopefully you guys, everyone received the agenda, the internal agenda. Hopefully everybody was happy with it in the sense that, you know what, this is something that you agree with and think that is worth discussing. So that's the introduction. We're going to move on to the treasurer's update. So since our full body meeting, which was last week, has there been any changes or anything that you need to update us with?
No, commissioners. Our available balance is still at $13,915.94. You know, we cannot make any actions on our account at this point until we are officially cleared. I did give you a update on that. We had a deposit, our grantee, that was check number 1269 given in December 2020. The grantee was Metropolis Group. They were out of my SMD 5B04. They were given $500. They failed to provide significant receipt for $250 worth of the $500. To be more specific, we saw where they purchased paint and paint supplies. They did not have the proper receipts for their cleaning supplies. Therefore, ANC 5B did move the paperwork forward because we are required to, and a final decision comes from OANC and the auditor. You saw in your last quarterly that they said $250 worth of receipts wasn't there to reimburse us full allotment. I spoke over with Chair Higgins at the time. I moved forward to meet with the Metropolis Club again, because we have been emailing for almost a year about this, but I spoke with them, and they got a better understanding by having that in-person meeting with me. And the same day, that Friday evening, the 22nd, they returned $250 of the $500. And what I think that we should do, commissioners, with this is, one, we do have to spend time to review our grant process, and I've been working on that. So we'll move forward with that probably in the very near future, maybe next month. But I think that in the next meeting, and I need some feedback on this, I think we move to accept the $250 back, right? That's already been put into our account. And on the same motion, we move to remove the grantee from ANC 5B ineligible list and forward that information to the OANC. Because I do think they actually feel really bad about what happened. They just didn't understand their responsibilities as recipients of a grant. So the motion would be we accept the $250 that we already have from them and that we remove them from ANC 5B grant ineligible list. So in the future, they could apply for grants from us. And also that would clear them if they were looking for grants from anybody else. It wouldn't be a mark on them. And we would add a letter to our quarterlies and send that same letter back to OANC and finance and the auditors. And so they would know that the money, they know, but it'll be official because the grantees would feel better that way. They're very concerned that they've been blackballed, and they're also very concerned that they look incompetent to the public at this point. And I also, one of the things I think that we should do when we do go through this motion, we should refer to them as grantees 1269 in order to, I mean, it's public record. Anybody can look up who they are, but I don't think that anybody benefits by us at this point throwing their name out there like, oh, the Metropolis Club, screwed up and blah, blah, blah. If we can, if someone asks, we share, but if we do the motion, we just go grantee 1269 because that was their check and that's how they've been to refer out of the process. That's my take on it as a treasurer. Feedback on that motion?
I want to start out with this is because that was in your single member district, right?
Correct, Chair.
So you will be writing that letter, correct?
Yes, I write that letter and it's two hats for me. As treasurer, I will be required to write that. And I did run this over with OANC. And also as the person that introduced them for the grant, as you remember, because you were here last year in 2020, and and I was their contact person throughout the process, and there's some things we could have done better. We could have we talked about this. People need way more hand holding than what we provide. And those are the things that we have to look at when we move forward. We can't just give people money and then think that they know what to do.
Well, not to interrupt you, because I remember I ran into the same problem with Queen Chapel Civic Association when I, distributed them a grant. And I literally went over that paperwork with them and explained to them what they needed to do every 30 days and so I literally explained to them. So when they defaulted, I, brought it to their attention several times. But I think so let me ask you this. Let's just suppose you're the treasurer and that was a grant that I distributed. Okay. And I decided that I'm going to, give them a reprieve and say, you know what, they did, make good and return the money that they were unable to, justify spending. Who would write that letter?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've been thinking about that. And I think that's the kind of stuff that we need to do as a commission,
So
right?
You answer my question?
Yes. I think that the treasurer writes the letter, and I think that, and when we revamp our grant process, we have that clear because none of that's clear for us right now. Who does that stuff? So I feel that as we work on this as a team and move forward, the treasurer writes the letter, and
the treasurer is going to write the letter that the person basically. So, however you craft that letter, you can craft that letter to make it so that it appears that they did the right thing by returning the money as opposed to focusing on the fact that, look, you guys, if y'all don't give back this money, here's what's going to happen. And not worry about the fact that they're on this ban list that you're trying to have them removed from. That was just part of the process. So you can just draft that letter so that it, can be favorable as opposed to focusing on the negativity.
Yes.
Just a question. So the
Yeah.
Metropolis Club would be, who would prohibit the Metropolis Club from reapplying for grants? Us or somebody else?
Great question, Commissioner Costello. Yeah, it was us. So if they came back to us again and said, hey, you gave us $500 before, could we get another $500 from you? It might not even be us 5, but it would be there. So it would be the ANC that they would be in, and that would show up, and the ANC would then have just cause to deny them.
The commission board would be the ones, or if there's a committee, grant committee in place, that would be the first
So,
one.
okay, so we don't necessarily, it sounds like we don't necessarily have to agree to blacklist them, right? Like, if it sounds like they made an honest mistake.
I don't remember voting to blacklist them.
No. Ross said that they were concerned that they would be blacklisted. So I guess what I'm saying is, if it sounds like they made an honest mistake, we don't need to blacklist them from reapplying for grants in the future, right? That's just a decision we have to make internally if we want to do that.
Right. So my question is,
I have a point.
When, how, who?
Wasn't there a letter from DC stating, could you speak to that? Because I think that's where this originated from, when they actually deducted the $250 from us.
Exactly. Yes, Commissioner Higgins. That's exactly what happened, and I know that you know a lot of this because you were right there going through the process.
Yeah, but that's what I want you to explain, that process and why it's necessary, right, for us to take the steps that we're taking now. I think that's a big piece that the other commissioners need to hear, so they'll have a better understanding of why you're proposing this.
Exactly. The steps that we're initiating, that I propose that we initiate, are the steps that I was advised by Dawn Dickinson and her superior over at OANC in order to clear this up.
Recoup them 250.
Yes.
Okay. I do remember you saying that. Okay.
Sorry, one question. Commissioner Higgins, you mentioned a letter. I don't know, was that for the full commission? Did that go just to the treasurer? I don't think I've seen a letter about this from OANC, if there was one.
Yeah. Commissioner Piekara, if you look in your last folder, your 22Q1, it's closer to the bottom. I think it says 5B grant, like something allotment. OF something like that. So it'd be close. It's one of the last documents that you have, a letter from them and a letter from me. So have you had a chance to look at that?
I'm pulling it up right now.
And if you don't have it, Commissioner, I tell you what, let me just send you another copy. But the initial letter goes out to the treasurer and the chair.
Got it. Okay.
And if you don't have it, just let me know. And I will send it to you, but you should have it in your QFR.
Yeah, I think, is this let's see.
Something about allotment release.
But this is for, yes, okay, I see it. Thank you. Accordingly.
Yeah, the one that says OF something, then the other one says Metropolis Club. So they sent us a letter, I sent them a letter.
Got it, okay.
Did everybody get that?
Mm-hmm.
That Commissioner Main sent out?
Mm-hmm.
This is in which folder?
Your Q1, Commissioner Costello, the one that you just had
at the meeting last week.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That helps.
Yeah, it's at the bottom. And if you don't have it, or if this is too much trouble, just let me know. I'll get you another copy.
No, it's okay. I think I found it here.
Yes, Commissioner Higgins is absolutely correct. This is the process that OANC informed me to take with this. Because, I mean, yeah, I mean, we could have done nothing about it. We could have took the L and kept moving, but, you know.
Right. So was it a threat to recoup the money, or was this the process that you needed to take to get the money?
You know, it wasn't a threat. It's the process, Chair. I just went down there. You know, I took it like old school, OG style. I just went down there and said, "We want our money. Give us our money back."
Nothing in writing to them. There was nothing in writing.
The letter. If you see a letter in there, the letter says that you can return the money. But after I sent the letter, I just went down there and said. They said, well, they knew I was coming, so I just didn't like ball up in there like that. But I went down there and said, give us our money back.
You didn't go and kicking in doors and stuff like that.
Nah, it was about 4 or 5 of them. I called Chair Higgins on the phone, and she was like, "I'm busy."
But no, when he was on his way down there, what I just really appreciate was the fact that they did try to resolve the situation once they understood. And so, so I understand. I would rather try to take the steps to, to actually
recoup the money, yeah.
And so they can move forward in their process. And again, this is something that Commissioner Amin had brought up previously, that we really need to look at, how we give out money, who we give out money to, and that even just like you said, you sat down and spoke with the Queen's Chapel, and we know how that went. That was
and they had identified a person who was going to be the financial person to literally do those monthlies and hand in the receipts. And it was like pulling teeth, and they thought I was joking. And then they, got mad and asked when I start taking it up to McDuffie, to the who else did they send it to? Anita Barnes and everybody. We don't have the money. Anita Barnes said, "Yes, you do."
Yeah. I see Commissioner Piekara have her hands up, and I wanted to put a few more things in the report. So if you don't mind,
go ahead. But that was it for me. But I just wanted to say that I appreciate that they took the time to say, "Hey, okay, we understand. Here's the money, and thank you." So they did what they needed to do. We didn't come out on a negative end on this process, so I think it's a good look.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Fabio 3.
Thank you. So just because this is my first time with this, I just want to understand. So we cut a check to them for $500. They cashed it. They only used they only have receipts for $250 or $250 of that $500. Mm-hmm. We didn't get a difference back from them, right? We didn't get the remaining $250, or did we?
No, they kept half, and we got the half. They did not. They were unable to show receipts how they spent it.
So when we say we got the half, because I'm just a little confused, because here it says the OANC recommends that $250 be withheld from our quarterly allotment, so it's deducted on
because we wrote a check for $500. And so they were only able to show receipts and give reporting that could be verified for $250.
Yeah.
So because they did not do that, when we got our allotment back, it was minus $250. And that was the $250 that the Metropolis Club was unable to show documentation that was necessary for us to get the full allotment back. So in turn, they would have been in a negative posture with the district government, as well as not be able to receive any more grants from ANC 5B. That letter was sent to them. Commissioner Amin also took the initiative to go and speak with them, and they were amenable to returning ANC 5B the $250 that we did not get reimbursed through the office of ANC.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
We were
Basically-
advised by the Office of ANC, once we received the check, we asked them, how did they want us to handle it? Was it to be written to the Office of ANC, or if it was to be written to ANC 5B? And it was told to us it was to be written to ANC 5B and to be deposited into our account. So that's what we did. So even though we wrote a check for 500 and only got 250 back from ANC, we did recoup the other 250. So we weren't in a negative posture in terms of the monies that we paid back and the monies that we received.
Wait,
So,
so
the
I'm
office
sorry,
of ANC, the office of ANC pretty much took 250 from us. And in order
Yes.
for us to get that 250, we had to put the 250 back in our account.
So wait,
Yes.
so did the Metropolis Club give us or the OANC back 250?
ANC 5B got 250.
We got a check from the Metropolis.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Piekara, and you will see as a matter of fact, I just uploaded those files today. So in your next folder, you will see a bank receipt for $250. That was a transaction or our account for $250, and you will see all of what we're talking about as part of your documentations. But you will see that on last Saturday, the 24th, I went to the bank with a check for $250 and deposit in our account, and we have a receipt for it.
Got it. Okay. Nope, that's perfect. Just based on the letter, I couldn't tell that Metropolis gave us 250 back, so it looked like we were penalized 250 for them.
Right.
We were penalized 250. When that letter was sent out, we had not recouped that $250 back from the Metropolis Club.
Right, that is true. We did get penalized, Commissioner. We got penalized $250, and I went down there as discussed and said, "Hey, you guys cost us a penalty, and you're on the list now. And the only way to straighten this out, the best win-win for everybody, is you give us back $250." And they agreed, and they gave us back $250.
Got it. Thank you so much for explaining that.
505, do you have any questions? Because you guys is like 8 o'clock. We got, almost 7 o'clock. We got to move on. Do you have any questions, 505?
Real quick, I don't know if this is what Commissioner Piekara was getting at, but I was just sitting here doing the math. So the math is basically we gave $500, then we got penalized $250. So we were basically a negative $750 at that point. Metropolis is giving us $250. So now we're out a net $500.
No.
How did you get $750? I don't understand.
The grant was basically a grant to someone. They could not prove that they spent $250. So the office of ANC took that $250 from us and minus it out of our allotment. So we was $250 short. So in order for us to have exactly what we should have had and to balance everything out, we needed to get the $250 from the Metropolis Club, and we did.
Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, we had already given $500, right? The penalty from OANC is an additional $250 out of our bank account. It's not.
No, we didn't get a penalty from our bank account.
It was
out of our allotment. I'm speaking figuratively.
It was $250 less in an allotment we received.
Right, exactly. And then
we recouped that $250 from them. So now the Metropolis got $250 and we retained $250. So it looks as though we only gave a grant for $250, although it was $500.
Well, so I'm just saying, I don't think the math quite works out that way.
No, Commissioner Costello. Okay, so we're just dealing with the $500.
Right.
So if $500 is all we bill ANC for, invoice for, not bill for, invoice for, as allotment that we spent.
Yep.
We sent in the receipts for $500 worth of items.
Right.
But once ANC looked at that listing and what was spent, they disallowed $250. So what we invoiced for was $500. But what they gave us back was only $250. So in order for us to have that money, we had to get our own $250 back from the Metropolis Club because they didn't fulfill all of the requirements of their grant.
Right.
They gave us the $250.
Of
So
the
we had the
250 penalty.
$250 that Office of ANC reimbursed us, plus the $250 Metropolis Club gave us. So our full invoice has been paid, but we got it from two different sources.
I think that's the one question. When you say that OANC reimbursed us, that's the part.
Okay, let me do this. Hey, 1 second, Commissioner Carley, let me do this. Okay, so if that language is confusing, it's just that this is just our regular allotment. So it's it's not like some type of
just wording to try to. I just wanted Commissioner Costello to see what I was talking about in reference to the $500.
Right. Yeah.
So
that was just an example.
Okay, so sorry, just to be clear, so I think what we're saying is basically they got $500, they only spent $250 of it. We were going to be penalized because they didn't turn in receipts, and essentially they paid our penalty. Basically, we said we're not going to take the $250 hit for you. You have to pay that part back, and so now we're at a net zero. Yes. So $500 is okay. Cool.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and we can talk about this, commissioners. I know we got to keep moving. We can talk about this. Like Commissioner Carley said, it happened with Queens Chapel. Commissioner Woodlawn said it happened with Noyes Park a couple of years ago. And actually, it happened with Ward 5 Mutual Aid, too. It's just that they better understood the process in 2021 when I was working with them, and they were able to get their receipts, where Metropolis Club were not able to get their receipts because they didn't have a full grasp of the process. So the problem is that we could probably make the process simpler in the future when we work on it. I'm gonna bounce on, right? We have an appointment for security fund. Everybody has confirmed they will meet me at the bank on Friday. QFR Q2, correct? Is it Q1? Q1 is signed. Do we have the minutes? Have the November minutes been uploaded?
Not yet.
Okay, so we do need need like November minutes. That needs to be done. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure that one out. GW University is still interested in working with us, building a website. I know that Chair Carley asked me to follow up on that. Chair Carley, they said yes, they would still be interested in building our website. They asked, could they have a meeting with me? I said yes. Did everyone get those questions I wanted you to answer?
I did, although I had the same questions. I think in particular, they asked about what our budget is for this, and I wasn't aware that we had any budget for this.
Well, we as you know, Commissioner, we have the budget for this would be.
It will come out of communications, right?
It could come out of communications and surplus. So short answer. So remember, we have like that $900 and some dollars. I don't have it in front of me. $900 and some dollars that we were going to use in communications, and then remember we had that 1856 in surplus. So okay. There you go.
So I guess the question is now, and if there is, what we think is a reasonable agreement for a stipend, maybe you can come up with that before our meeting next month or this month so that we can have some idea after you inform all the commissioners, okay, yeah, here's your agreement. They decide they'll take $50 a month or something to that sort, and then that way we can vote on it at the full body meeting.
So I actually just have a question as to, I know that when this outsourcing this came up first, it was because I think there were some Catholic University students that had volunteered to do it for free. So I think we went down this path. I'm kind of clear as to how we got to a place where we are potentially paying for web design, especially since the Squarespace site that I kind of put together is just sitting there and waiting. We do have to pay for hosting, but we would have to pay for hosting no matter who we go through. I mean, the GW doesn't have their own servers. So I think that's can we take a step back and say, why are we looking to what are we hoping to gain by outsourcing this in general? Because it doesn't sound like from a cost perspective, this is the most cost conscious option. And I think when it was brought up originally, it was about objectivity, so that we have someone who's neutral and would be able to put information on the site and manage it without any bias. So with you, Treasurer, is it the people that you're working with, are they still in the mindset of volunteering, or is this something they're looking to get some sort of money for their time?
Is that to me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, they want to be paid, and to be clear, GW, well, Catholic, I guess they if they had the time, they would have volunteered. But no, these young ladies, they're undergraduate students at GW, and they would like to be compensated for the the work that they do. And and personally, I feel like we vote on it, but I also feel like if they do a good job and they produce something, why not?
Well, let me ask you this. I guess the next question would be, so I know Commissioner Higgins, Vice Chair, put something that's a website that's live, supposedly now, that we are able to post stuff on. So, and then Commissioner Piekara is saying that she has something. I've never seen it. That
shared it at previous meetings, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
Commissioner Piekara has stated that she's had a website, and again, after we had all of the excitement about websites, it still never went live, even though we asked that it went live. So I still don't know what that, what
you have to pay for it.
What happened with that, but we're still at that same point. So if it was going to be live, it will be live. If it's not live, it's not live. But
I don't think we have to pay for it, the hosting and the web domain, so it can't go live.
I didn't interrupt you. I did not interrupt you, and I'm not going to be disruptive either. So whatever we're going to do, I think we just need to go ahead and do it, because time is still moving on. Whoever does whatever they're going to do, it just needs to be done. If a website is already ready to go and up and running, then it needs to be live. If it's not going to be live and it's a whole bunch of other controversy with it, if we can't be unbiased and, because again, I just want to say this. If we're going to be a team, we're going to be a team. Yeah. After I'm still talking. And after a meeting, you go, oh, Miss Higgins didn't do this. Oh, she didn't let you talk. She muted you. Or, oh, I guess I got plenty of, this is not team stuff. This is dissension stuff. So either we're going to do stuff or not do stuff. So if you have a site, if it's live and if it's ready to go, let's go. If it's not, let's move on. We have students that want to do it. If not, we need to find somebody else. I mean, it's just plain and simple.
I appreciate, but now that you've gone through this, can you please take that down so I can share the screen? We were talking hypotheticals, and
hello,
I actually have a website to show you.
Talk, even though I'm saying, wait a minute, hold up. You're going to get your opportunity, okay? I know people want to hurry up and get some stuff out, but let's give everybody an opportunity to say something so we don't have this going back and forth. We're going to stop this because this takes up a lot of time. Now, all right, Commissioner Higgins, are you saying this site right now that we're looking at this website is ready to go? Because I know I looked at it, I saw it when you sent it out.
Yeah, so if now it just needs to be built and the pages need to be added, but the site is ready to go.
Okay, now 5B03, please, let this be helpful, okay? I don't want to just keep going back and forth. So go ahead.
I'm certainly not going to posture like others. What I will say is, one, I don't think I've seen a URL for any site that someone else has seen, but if Commissioner Higgins will remove the agenda, I can actually show you the website that is built, has our logo, has our information, has the mock pages set up. I just haven't populated it with anything. And in terms of going live, that can only happen when funds are expended. But in terms of the design piece, it is ready to go. So let's go here.
Like your page.
I repurposed it for mine when I realized we weren't doing anything, but it's still there very much. So let's see here. It is quite literally the same configuration. I've got to re-up this, but it's, as you can see from the screenshot, it is almost exactly the same as my page. It just obviously on the banner here says Brookland, Michigan Park, Woodridge, Queens Chapel, and Rhode Island instead of just Brookland and Woodridge. And I'll see if it'll let me re-up it, but the pages are there. The intro banner is the same. Welcome to ANC 5B. Here you'll find all the information about our community, the pages, the library, the minutes, all of the framework is there. It's just not populated.
Okay, now calm down, because I hear it in your voice. I hear it.
It is just frustrating when someone says that.
I just have one thing.
Calm down. I'm asking you to calm down because I can hear it in your voice. So now my question to you is this. Are you saying that this page that you populated, that it was going to have a picture of Brookland on there?
Yeah, that's what I had as a placeholder. I had ran it past Commissioner Amin, including I designed a logo for our commission and had it on there and said as a placeholder, this is where we were going to start. I sent screenshots over. We could change whatever we wanted on that banner, but yes, that's what I had in there.
That we're talking about. This is a 5B supposed to be represented. It has nothing to do with any individual area or any individual commissioner.
We can change it.
Yeah, that's easy to change. The logo itself was, again, I run this past Commissioner Higgins, Commissioner Amin had seen the logo. Like this was something I was kind of doing as a process and sending it back and forth and getting feedback. This is super, I mean, pictures are easy to change. Language is easy to change. I was trying to be very intentional about listing the neighborhoods. If I missed anything, we can change it. But the point is that this site is basically ready to go. We can tweak it in whatever we want and we can decide what we want, like what content we want on there. But for all intents and purposes, in terms of a build, as soon as we spend I think it's $240 for the hosting and the Squarespace, like it's up. It could be up as soon as tomorrow.
Could I make a suggestion?
5B05.
I'm sorry. Did you say Commissioner Costello? Oh, thank you. I don't think this. I understand Commissioner Higgins' concerns about wanting to make sure that everything is, above board and, kosher and all of that. I think we can maybe agree that like there's only certain information that will ever go on the main commission website, like our organizing documents, meeting notices, etc. But if it makes everybody feel more comfortable, it's not difficult to add additional users to the website so that anybody could access it if they wanted to. If they felt there was something on there that was inappropriate, they would have that access. So I think that's something to also consider.
But the only problem with that, once you go out there, and by the time somebody, I don't know about you, but I don't have time to be monitoring and going back and forth to see whether or not someone is actually literally, making this about 5B and not making it about a single member district. And then by the time it's out there and by the time they notified or or revealed it to their single member district constituents, then it's out there. And once something go out there, it's out there for, then what will happen is then it'll turn around and say, oh, it was changed. Why was it changed? Well, they decided and that's where all the contention and the disagreement comes in, because everybody wants to fight for their single member district, and nobody wants their single member district to be slighted while someone else think their single member district is better than everyone else or someone else's. So I got that out there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in order, and I'm going to identify each commissioner so they can give some input so that we don't keep doing this back and forth thing. Any your thoughts, 5B02?
Thoughts at all?
5B03?
Yeah, I mean, I think depending on what our goals are, if our goal is to have a website up and ready, this one is up and ready and functional. And as Commissioner Costello said, it's very user-friendly. So it is easy for folks to add. We can designate, who is posting or what, or have a process for approval is fine. But I think that this is literally the most cost-effective. It's here. I have a background in web design, so rather than us spending a couple $1,000 externally, we can keep that as commission funds and use it towards grants or something else for our community. So that's my perspective.
5B04.
I would like to speak with these young ladies from GW and hear their ideas, see if there's a possibility to work with them. I think that we have, because of our internal disagreements, we have pulled so many people into our stuff. And that's one of the reasons why GW just thought, after sitting through our meetings, kind of thought, I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen?
No.
GW didn't want any part of us. I mean, CUA. And so I think that I would like to meet with them, hear their ideas, bring them forward to the commission. And if there's a possibility for us to help some young people and get a good product out of it at the same time, I would put a motion up that we consider, see what we could do, even though they're not directly in 5B, but they've been working in 5B, and that's how I met them. So those are my thoughts.
5B05.
Yeah, I guess I would just ask a question back to everybody, which is, the last website, I think we posted the same static information. We had our organizing documents, meeting notices, etc. And so I don't know if there was a specific concern with that. But I'll just say for myself, Commissioner Carley, to the point I think that you had made, I have my own website. I don't need to use the main commission website to promote my SMD at all. So, that's not an issue for me. And so I think we need to figure something out, and ideally a cost-effective solution that would, not require us to spend monthly maintenance fees paying people to maintain a website for us that, hopefully we can all figure out how to maintain together. And I think Commissioner Piekara had her hand up. I just noticed.
I know. I see her hand up, and I'm going to again give everyone an opportunity to. Now it's my turn. We've been talking about this for over a year. We have been beating this for over a year. We have come. I mean, we every month we'll meet. We talk about the website, and people have even gone to get their constituents to rally behind them to try to corner us to get a website. And all we do is talk about this website. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just believe in being proactive, and we have not been proactive about this. And every time we decide, we don't have a website. This is, and it's a reflection of us as a commission why we don't have a website. Honestly, it is. Well, because it's like, okay, well, let's do this the most cost-effective way. Well, the most cost-effective way was not to do anything at all. That appears, to be. And so every time we bring up, let's get somebody in here to do this website so we get it up and running, you know what? maybe we can get somebody in here to, pay them, get it up and running. And maybe we may not need them to do it, monthly from that point on. But if we have, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to go back and throw anything in anyone's face or in any way, but I got to use history, in an example here in order, and that's why we learn history in the first place. And we have somebody, and we entrusted somebody to put something out there on behalf of ANC 5B, and they redact it and put something else out there, then that is a reflection also of ANC 5B that a person is going rogue. So again, every time this conversation comes up, we always come back to this, reeling us back in with the cost effective. And the cost effective has been to do nothing. And that's unacceptable. So 5B02.
You mean 5B03?
No, I mean 5B02.
No, I agree in all those aspects. And I just think it's important because we're not a cohesive group. I'm just really not trusting in terms of anything right now, in terms of correspondence and things that go out and things that go out in terms of ANC 5B. And so it's just important that we, excuse me.
Are you done? I can't hear you, Commissioner.
I'm sorry. And it's just important that we really just rethink these things. And with that period of time that we've had a break, and some of the feedback that I've been getting, and it's not been the most positive feedback in terms of our commission. And so all of those things come into play, even dealing with a website.
Right.
Because content is important, and it does not go away. Content stays forever.
Okay. 5B03.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So one, I would just, for sake of putting this out there, in terms of, I understand your frustration over the lack of proactivity. I would venture to say that my taking it upon myself to build an entire site on the back end is literally the definition of proactivity, but that's neither here than there. I would also say, just as a reminder, prior to me coming on board, the ANC 5B website had not been updated since September of 2019. So, I understand that there are concerns, and again, from a process standpoint, we can figure out exactly what the flow is to get things up. As Correspondence Secretary, I'm still going to be sending things out, whether on Facebook or the listserv or other places. That's part of my responsibility to disseminate information. I see the website as just another platform for us to disseminate that, and certainly open for us to figuring out a process that everyone is comfortable with and feels that they can build trust in. The last thing I would say is, if we do decide to go with an external vendor for this, I would also just encourage us to take an open bid process and actually welcome applications. I know we have a number of talented designers in Brookland itself, but since at that point we're going to be paying, I'd love for us to open up that process to make it equitable and fair, and not just kind of someone that someone has a personal relationship with or happens to know on the side. So that would be my last comment.
Okay, can you please take your hand down?
Right.
5B04.
Can you hear me, Gail?
Yes, ma'am. Sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My camera's not, something's weird with my camera. Hey, I think that we've been talking about this for a long time, and we've been talking about, and if anybody in Brookland was interested, that was non-biased in building our website, they would have stepped forward by now and expressed of interest. So we have been going around and around about a website and coming out of certain camps. It's been about one side against the other, and no one has stepped forward to ANC 5B and said, that wasn't like biased or putting a FOIA against us 3 commissioners that said they wanted to do something. So I think that process has been open. And you know I said I met them because they were here working, but I don't know them, so they're not friends. I don't benefit from this anyway. I've just been on a search. When I found out this wasn't going to get done, I took it amongst myself to take a lead on it, because it had been a point of contention for us for so long. So, Commission Chair, I asked to move forward with speaking with these young people. I will bring that information back to us, and then we shall see from there.
Okay. 5B05.
I don't think I had my hand up.
No, you didn't, but I'm giving everyone the opportunity to be able to give input, so no one person can feel like they have to, have their hand up the whole time we're meeting.
Understood. Thank you. I think we should also maybe clarify how much we would be willing to spend on the website total cost. Purchasing the web space or web platform plus hosting will probably cost about $200, maybe a little bit less if we can get a good discount, or find a cheaper alternative. And then, if we need to hire people to update the website for us whenever we need to add things to it, that's an additional fee, because it sounds like there's no internal trust to, I guess, allow any commissioners to make those updates. So I think let's just talk about, if we can, real quick, like what kind of fees we're willing to spend. I think that might be helpful for Commissioner Amin when he talks to the students, because I think they probably want to get a sense of what's in it for them too. I don't think they want to do free work. I'm sure they're busy. So I don't know if anyone has any suggestions on that.
Treasurer, Commissioner Amin.
Yes.
Do you have an idea of how much they've given some sort of estimate of what it would cost to I guess get a website up and running?
No, that's why I want to speak with them, and and see whether or not, see what they would think, what they would like to be compensated, and that's why I wanted us to have an idea of how much how much we think that work would be worth to us. And so, how much do we think that's worth to us?
I know I had someone, I guess, build a website, and I think it was somewhere between 150 and 250. And that also included maintaining it. So can you please get back with us as soon as possible? Do you know when you're going to meet with these people?
They proposed 3 dates. I will take, looks like one date was today at 4, which didn't happen. The next was Friday. I take that Friday date if it doesn't conflict with our meeting.
And is it going to be virtual?
I don't know. I assume it will be virtual over the phone.
Okay. All right. Can you let me know, please?
I will. Yes. And the other part, remember, we already put $250 in communications for the hosting. Remember, that's been put aside already, last budget and this budget. So that money has already been accounted for. We knew we were going to do that. And the other thing is, so we say it's 3 of them. So let's kind of figure like the work costs $300, right?
Whoa.
I'm saying if we look at it that way.
Right. Well, no, because see, you're looking at the amount of people who's going to take it. It should be just about the website. Because one person could probably do it. So whether it's one person or 3 people, it should still be the same.
Right, but you said you paid $250, so that's what I based it off of.
Okay, but not because it was 3 people. I don't know how many people it took to get it up. I just know how much it was for a website.
Okay, yeah, I just want to have a number in my head to work with when I start talking to them. So, okay, so I will just keep that. I will hold that one close to the vest right there.
Okay.
And see what they think, because they may want something that we can't pay. So yeah.
But whatever it is, let's not think in times of 3.
Okay, great. Got it. Okay.
Okay, all right, Commissioner Piekara.
Just building on Commissioner Higgins and her trust comment, which I agree, unfortunately. Would it be possible for myself to join this meeting with the GW students or have them come and talk to the full commission rather than just a one-off meeting?
Yeah, hey commissioners, why don't I let's do this. Why don't I send you their dates? And then what you do is you let me know.
Commissioner, I mean, right now I'm gonna say every time you add more people in, it becomes more complicated. Now, make this about the day you decide that you're gonna meet with them at Friday or whatever time, stick with it and you can invite people.
Okay, great. Sounds good. It's a plan. I got it.
Arranging for 5, 6, 7, and 8 people because it'll never happen.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
All right, so we got that, and the next thing on the agenda that I had, I do believe was or is, let me pull it back
Commissioner-
up. Yes.
Commissioner, while you're looking for your document, I just wanted to ask if Commissioner Higgins is able to share the link to the website that she was helping to make. I really,
everyone.
huh?
I thought she sent it out to everyone a couple of weeks ago. Did you not, Commissioner Vice Chair?
I did, but no, we're not going to even deal with the link that I'm dealing with. You're going to deal with what you're going to deal with. Commissioner Amin is going to deal with what he's going to deal with.
It doesn't seem very transparent in the.
It's not transparent because I haven't done anything else with it. I showed the treasurer what I had put up so we would be able to announce our meeting. It's nothing on it, so you can do whatever you do do whatever you want to do, but it's nothing else to it. So please proceed.
Just to be clear, this is just a website that you and the treasurer are going to post meeting information on. It's not for ANC 5B.
It's an option.
Just to be clear, that's not what I said.
Well,
That's not what I said. That is what you're asking, but that's not what I said.
Okay, can you please clarify who the website is?
I'm not going to clarify anything with you, Commissioner. I'm tired of playing word games with you.
So I think we can say it's not a full commission.
It's no so anything.
So it's not a full commission website. That's fine.
I created a site, so if we did not have one, that the students or whomever could build upon something so we could move forward with the site. That's what I did. That's what I did. That's it. And that's all.
Okay. Do you guys see
I'm sorry, Commissioner Carley?
Do you guys see the agenda, internal agenda that I put up?
No. Blank screen.
Okay, I'm trying to share it and I am. It says it's up. You guys don't see it?
No.
No.
Would you like me to put it up for you again?
Thank you, please.
No problem.
We had a green screen, and you're at oh whoa, where are we?
I know, right?
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at it too, so I don't know what I'm doing. So post meeting notifications. We already talked about the website, so we can skip 5. Post meeting notifications.
Right. So I brought this up because I want to make sure we're all on the same page. And one of the things, which is why I wanted to talk about the website, is because of notifications. There was a couple of things, and I think I brought this up before about possibly, because I know right now the listserv that we're using is individual listserv. I post on my listserv with my constituents, and each one of us do the same thing. And then we post on, oh God, where is it? And I know it's putting over on that board in Brookland. And I'm just trying to find out because I want to find something that is more uniform. Like maybe once we get a website with a website location that maybe possibly we can have some information literally out in our communities where each one of us have at least two poster side yard signs that we could put in strategic locations, two in each single member district, so that you can move it around or you can leave it or whatever the case may be, so that we can have that as something that we're all using across the board, as well as the website. I'm gonna get some feedback on that. 5B02. Commissioner Higgins?
I'm sorry. Pardon me, I stepped away.
Okay, so I was just suggesting that we have yard sign for each of our single member districts, that maybe a minimum of two. If you think more, let me know, where we can strategically, uniformly have something out there. Because right now we can say that we're using the website, but at the same time, some of us put out newsletters, some of us do not. We using our individual listserv, but so that we can have at least two. The website will be one, and then maybe something out in the community like yard signs, where we have that website on there that people can go to and find our agenda and get the link to where our virtual meetings. So I was just wanting to get some feedback on what each commissioner thought about that. So you first.
I think that's fantastic.
Okay.
And that way we're reaching more people.
Yes, and that's the objective.
Especially foot traffic.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think that's a great idea.
Okay, and 5B03?
I think that's a great idea, Chair. Yeah, the more that we can get this out in other places. I'll also say, if helpful, I know it's not specifically in 5B, but I've started posting the notices on the Woodridge Library message board. But if there are churches or anything else that folks know of that have just kind of like a community bulletin board, I think it's a great idea for us to include that too. But I think what you're saying, Chair, is kind of create our own bulletin board, and I think that's a fantastic idea.
Okay, and 5B04?
Yeah, Chair Carley, I know that that's one of the things you talked about when we were working on the budget. And I say this, I support, and I think that once we decide what we're going to do, remember, we have a surplus, but it's not an endless surplus. So once we decide what we're going to do, we'll prioritize what we will do with our money. And yeah.
The great thing about this is it's like a one-time buy. It's not it doesn't require any maintenance. It doesn't require, we're just literally putting these yard signs out in a strategic location in our single member district, so that again, this is about us, collectively doing something uniformly. When we do things together and agree on something together, we look more like a commission.
Right. Hey, by any chance, have you done any research on cost?
Yes, sir. So basically, it would be no more if we decide on 2 yard signs, and I'm calling them yard signs, but they're going to go in a public space. Okay, but 2 yard signs that you as a commissioner would decide where you're going to put it, and it could be more. I don't know. But usually these yard signs can go anywhere from $2 to $5.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think let's look at it, do a cost analysis, and I think that we can make it happen if we vote on it.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. And 5B05?
I love this idea. I think it's great. I was going to suggest, but maybe this isn't necessary. If we had like a static, as long as we're doing virtual meetings, if we had like a static meeting login ID and password like we do with our CAL meetings, I think we use the same one for our CAL meetings every month. It might be helpful to put that on the sign for people to take a picture of it, so they can, just kind of keep a record in case they don't go to the website to look at it or something. But that's just a side thought. in general though, I think this is a fantastic idea. I would just recommend maybe we get a couple extra signs in case like a big windstorm blows through. I've seen a lot of signs get knocked down or blown down the street from some big storms lately. So maybe just having some extras on hand would be good, but otherwise, this is really great. Good job.
Yeah, if we have any,
Costello, tell me about what you were just saying. So you're not talking about the square? Tell me what, so is this something different that you're talking about? Is it the square where you scan or something like that?
Oh, the, what are those called? I actually forget what they're called. QFR codes or something? No, I was just, a QR code. Thank you. Sorry, a QFR code.
You left one in the mind.
I know. It's not a QFR code. So no, I guess we could put that on there if we want to, but I was thinking, no, we would just actually put like the, like webex.com and then the, what is it, 9-digit, whatever meeting ID number, and then the password. If we plan on keeping the same meeting login information for every meeting. I think we do that with our CAL meetings. It seems like we've been sticking with the same meeting ID. So if we do that for our public meetings too, I think that would be, well, I think generally, I think it's a good idea. So constituents don't have to sit there and try and figure out how to log into each meeting differently. But, you know, it might be good to put that on the sign as well if we can, if there's room.
Yeah, and I can't hear you, Commissioner Higgins. I see your lips moving and your hands, but I can't hear you. Nope. Okay, there you go.
I'm sorry. So with that, so the password doesn't change, like with our CAL, it doesn't change. So you can hit the link that you had 2 months ago and still join the CAL, right?
And I think that was exactly what I would say, that we can have on the yard signs is information that doesn't change, like our website and that link. Yes.
Okay, because we were having so many problems with our meetings, you know, so I had to take it off of recurring. Okay, so all right, so we can just set it up as recurring, and we can do that. Okay, that sounds great.
Okay,
fantastic.
Commissioner, but before we do that, we have to make sure that it's working. If we're gonna move forward, so we got to like go back to recurring, go through the process for a little while before we actually post that. Because what we don't want to happen is to get these signs made and find out that we're still having like IT technical problems, and we go through the whole thing again. So I just want us to be mindful of that, because there was a reason why we couldn't stay on recurring. There was a lot of reasons why we didn't stay on recurring.
Okay. So
okay, great.
All right. So what I will do is I'll try to get some estimates. Maybe we can think about, you know, how we want this yard sign to look as a commission, what we want it to look like, and I'll get some prices. And if worse come to worse, what we can do is we can just ensure that we have a website that's hot and active, and we can have their website information on that yard sign, that literally when they go and, you know, into the website, that agenda, the link, and everything will be in there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right.
So Commissioner Chair Carley, you're on websites, and I think we've done that, but that's your call. And after websites, you have old business defined.
Yes, I know. We switched it around.
Oh, you got your agenda.
We've done with the website managing, because we went into that with the treasurer.
Right.
All right, so yeah, we're done with that. So we're going over the 6, and it should be really, really quick. And I just want to bring this up. So going forward, we all understand if we have any old business, the old business, I believe, is defined as something that was on the agenda that we were supposed to meet about, and we did not have time to meet about. And so therefore it will go on to our next meeting and on the agenda as old business. Okay, I'm gonna give everyone an opportunity to feedback. So if you don't, you know, basically have any questions, or if you want to say, well, yeah, okay, what is it? So if it was on our agenda, like right now, tonight, we have this agenda up as an example. And if we don't get to talk about, let's say, the safe passage to school, then that will go on as old business on our next agenda. But don't worry, Commissioner Costello, we are going to talk about it. So I just want to.
Okay, I'm not worried.
Yeah, that was just an example. So I just want everybody to understand that going forward, if any old business, it would have to have been on the previous agenda in order for it to be put on the next agenda, or to be said, oh, you know what, this was supposed to be on last agenda. We did not get an opportunity to take a vote. I see it's not on this agenda. So this is considered old business, whether it's on the agenda or not, even if it was left off, in error. So 5B02, your thoughts? Commissioner? Okay.
No, I come off mute. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think you're that's fine. That's on point.
Okay, 5B03.
I think that's great. Thank you for clarifying that and just making sure that these things aren't forgotten about. I appreciate you doing that.
And there's another reason why I'm bringing this up too, and 5B04.
Yeah, I definitely support that idea. I think that hashing it out in cow is what we do, and I don't want that to discourage us. But those are other conversations. It's what we do, commissioners. We hash it out here. I hope we don't take it personal. I hope we don't take our business and make it public for the most part, and then we get in front of the public and we have a good meeting. So I support old business being on the agenda, and I also support, like, sometimes, like, that's what we have to do in Kyle. We hash it out and we figure it out. Okay.
Okay, 5B05.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. The only recommendation or suggestion I might make is that we use the term unfinished business per Robert's rules. So it's understood what we mean. But yeah, I think the way that you explained it, Commissioner Carley, is exactly how it's defined in Robert's rules. So that sounds like a good idea to me.
All right, thank you. And another reason why I'm bringing it up, because we want to make sure we keep these meetings where they need to be in time, so we can have more people that want to show up and feel like that they are going to get something out of our meetings. And if we need to move something that we feel can wait, we can move it to our next month's meeting. All right, so the next one we're going to move. Yes.
I'm sorry. Can I ask a quick question on that? So let's say, I'll use a resolution that I've introduced, for instance. If I introduce a resolution and I know that there's a deadline that we have to respond to an agency by, hopefully everyone will, allow the commissioner who introduced the resolution to say, this is the deadline that we need to adhere to, and not, postpone things and put that commissioner or their constituents in a difficult situation or difficult spot. So I just wanted to clarify that we're all on board with that. Like, we're not using this as a stalling tactic to, make a commissioner miss an opportunity to weigh in with an agency on something. Okay.
No, most definitely not. And and even in giving or sharing or, informing, never once would I ever put a resolution on that old business.
Oh, okay. So this would be like topics for discussion.
This would
that we
be
need
anything that can wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfinished business.
Right. I would not think that a resolution would fall in that category, because that's something that we definitely said, you know what, I have a resolution and I need to get, this vote and, ensure that the hearing is not, as a result of my, as a commissioner, not doing what I am supposed to do to ensure that they have that resolution, whether you oppose it or approve of that project.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, so, and hopefully this is going to be quick. I didn't really want to put it here because I see there's other stuff that I really wanted to get to. The duties for Correspondence Secretary. Now, I reviewed that in a sense of in my head, and I believe, and we're going to do a one round here, not two, one round. In my vision, I thought that the correspondence secretary would literally do, like I read something this evening. Oh God, what was it about? And I try to rush through this stuff, trying to read it and, and try to make sure I understand what's going on. I received something that I thought would be something the correspondence secretary would, and where we have a, on the agenda where the correspondence secretary will share information that is vital to to ANC 5B. That means everybody. And when I was reading this article, I said, wow, now that's a prime example of something that I would think that a correspondence secretary would share so that everyone would understand what's going on. Oh, here it is. I'm talking because I wanted to remember what the PEPCO. And hopefully each one of you guys got it. It was the PEPCO split, well, not necessarily split, but the merger and, and how they're, what they're doing now and whether or not, how it would affect, although it said it would not, the constituents, because all of our constituents deal with PEPCO. So I thought that would be something that the correspondence secretary would read up on prior to and would be able to summarize and give out that information. And I think the other thing I thought basically was posting information that affect 5B, of course. So, so share what we think is informative. All right, so everyone, please give at least, if you have two, give two. If you only have one, give one, but please give your feedback. And Commissioner Costello, did you have an opportunity somewhere along the way read or get any information about the duties of a correspondence secretary? Commissioner Costello? Commissioner Costello? Commissioner Piekara, did you have an idea of what a correspondence secretary is supposed to do?
Yes, Chair, just kind of based on our bylaws, I think it was the, focusing on outgoing meeting notices. So meeting notices, minutes, recordings, anything that is facing our constituents or information that they need to know. The definition that you added is something new to me, but I think that's a great idea. And if I'm hearing you correctly, it almost sounds like those emails that Kelly Sislow sends all of us, like kind of making sure that our community gets access to those if is that kind of what you had in mind?
Well, not everything, Kelly Sislow sent out.
Not everything, but yes.
But yeah, but of course it'd be something that we as a commission would agree on prior to, where you would say, here's what I would like to be able, or you think is important that the community should know that you would like to share at the single member district meeting. And sometimes that may be up to 2 days prior to. So it's nothing to say by the time it's on the agenda that you would have everything or know exactly what it is that you're going to share. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes perfect sense. And just to be clear, would you prefer that I kind of verbally recite this at the meeting? Do you want it to go out ahead of time, like written, or are we talking about just like a quick session on the agenda where I give any quick updates?
Yes, so you will post it so that it goes out, but then also give a little, a narrative of it during our full body meeting.
Yeah, sounds great. I think that's a great idea. Thank you.
And
that's in line with what
you'll be limited to your time. So
I will try not to be verbose.
Okay, thank you. So you're saying posting, and when we say post, so whatever information we have, because I know the vice chair and myself will be responsible for ensuring the minutes get filed once they are done. And so you're saying you are going to post this information somewhere?
Yeah, so in lieu of a website, hopefully that is up soon. But in the meantime, I try to make all of our materials readily available. So Commissioner Carley, I think you've seen, I'll try to post them I'll create Facebook event pages and make sure that agendas and whatnot go out there. On Nextdoor, I also use Twitter, the Brookland listserv, the Woodridge Facebook group. I'm open to any other groups or listservs that I have missed, but I'm happy to be the Paul Revere and like scream it from the rooftops. If you all have a place that you want it posted or want it notified, I'm happy to include that in my roster of places that I post things. And then I obviously post things on my SMD website.
Okay, so the things like the minutes, the quarterly reports, the treasury reports, these are things that we can have in a folder, have available, and have so people can go there, you know, when they need it. I think I want to focus more on getting out information that Kelly Sislo was a good example. The information that everyone in the community, I think that saves us a lot of time of everybody going and getting this and trying to send it out there on their listservs and stuff like that. And it gives so that we can make sure that that information is getting out, not just a listserv or relying on a listserv for each individual commissioner, but at the same time we can say, well, you know what, you can get it here, but you can also find it sometimes on a Woodridge listserv. And I wish you could, as a correspondence secretary, so there's more than just Brookland. So find out the other listservs that's in 5B, and I know Woodridge is one of them. We have something in Michigan. So these are people where we have constituents in those listservs as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'd be happy to. I kindly ask for my colleagues who are in those specific areas, because I don't really have my finger on the pulse of outside listservs, but if someone can send me if they exist or what platform. I'd also say, I know, Chair, you are involved with the Queens Chapel Civic Association. I don't know if they send out routine emails like the BNCA does, but I know BNCA puts ours on there. I send that to Dan every month. So if we can have, I know Woodridge is starting to put ours on there, but I'm happy to work with whichever civic associations to make sure that they sent it out to their list. You know, wherever we think that this will be the most effective and most visible, I am more than happy to add that to my list of places. I kind of have a checklist that I go through every month and try to make sure that I'm distributing it out. I've also been, and again, if there's any in my colleagues' districts, I have a couple of senior centers in mind, so I've been posting them on the community board inside the senior centers as well. But if there are any other places, churches, et cetera, that folks think should be included in this, please let me know. The one thing I would suggest, and I know that this is going to be controversial given the relationships between the commissioners right now, when you mentioned like it would be easier than everyone sending out their own list, I agree. The only caveat is I don't know that we have everyone on one list. Like not everyone is on the Brookland listserv, not everyone's on the Woodridge listserv. Is there an interest in creating kind of an overall 5B list where we all share the emails for our constituents in one single place, and that way all of the information is going to everyone? I don't know if that's comfortable for folks, but I think that that is a really effective way to make sure that everyone is getting all of the information. But I put that to the group as a way to just make sure that folks that are not on social media or not on other sites still get the information that's required.
Okay, so I have, I think, 4 churches in my area. I will get their listserv. I think we want to stick to the overall of trying to get it out on these listservs that serving, you know, communities or, you know, or a congregation or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure I feel comfortable with sharing, because I have people who always, especially in my esteemed member district with seniors, when I go around and collect, they do not share my email. So I try not to share emails, names, and telephone numbers. So I right now, as we were talking, or as I was listening to you, I have Michigan Park, because I have constituents, just maybe a few, Queens Chapel, Woodridge, and I have several churches, and I'm sure the commissioners can come up with what they have in their area, because I think you have Taylor Street Baptist Church, do you not, Commissioner Higgins? Commissioner, yeah. Okay, so, you know, so everyone can just give that, and then that way you'll have it, you can send it out as a group. to these different places. So anyone else have any input or as far as the correspondence secretary? So Commissioner Costello and Commissioner Piekara, you both already gave your input. Commissioner Higgins, 5B02.
I just think that, again, we just need to ensure that the information going out is just going out in a manner in which all commissioners agree, and that there's no spin on the information, and that it just goes out as a cohesive piece
To make us look good.
as far as, because regardless, and I have said this time and time again, regardless of how we disagree internally, it doesn't make sense to spend foolishness externally, because it doesn't help us to do anything in the community better.
Right.
And our goal is to do better in our communities. That's my ultimate goal. It's not a personal thing. It's about the people we serve. And so, that's just my comment, but I just hope that we can do better this year.
5B05. I'm sorry. 5B04.
Yeah, the correspondence secretary, I served as a correspondence secretary. That was the first thing that I did when I came on the commission. I personally, as a commissioner, don't feel like that's what we need, and I think that reflected in my vote. But that's just my vote, the vote that I get as a commissioner. I think that repeating some of the things that Kelly's going to say, or the Mocha's going to say, or anybody else is going to say, I think that's also just kind of a spinning wheels and a waste of our time. I think that Kelly's going to say some of the things that she's already put out there, and so will the Mochas, and also the information that we will possibly be reading by the time we get to the end of the month has already been out there, for a while. It's been out there through the civic associations. It's been out there through constituent directors. So I don't see what we're going to be doing that's going to be so fresh and so innovating there. And so, I don't think that we should be putting our focus in the correspondence secretary position, because what in last part of this, like, one of the things about what the correspondence secretary does also that we did not do is to deal with correspondence that comes into the office. And and I took that on just because I was going to office and somebody needed to do it. So I think the commission, if the commission defines what the position is, I think the majority rules as always. But I don't see anything so fresh about it or so new about it, because I think we're just going to be repeating stuff that's already going to be out there. And I think, and also the other part is, I don't lean in favor of having a mass 5B group email or something like that, because I think what it does is it can confuse the constituents like who they should be corresponding with, and then they start their correspondence with maybe the person that they identify with the most, or the person that they think is their constituent, or the personality that they like the best out of the five of us. So I think it's just confusing to have something that comes out. I think as far as 5B04 is concerned, as long as I'm the commissioner over here, that I wanted to be clear that I'm the commissioner in 5B04, and I'm your first direct contact over here. I'm your hyper local official.
Thank you.
Commissioner Carley, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened with my WebEx.
I think I mentioned in the beginning that there would not be a mass mailing list. And I also mentioned that the information would be something she may have gathered within the last day or two, or a day or two just before we meet. So it would not, like, she wouldn't be collecting information now, you know, but keep in mind, we're trying to get more people to attend our meetings. That's number one. Number two, so whatever information Kelly is putting out is not getting out to the masses. So that's our job, to get our information to our constituents.
Yeah.
So hopefully, again, Commissioner Piekara, so when this information is sent out to, let's say, Michigan Park, as a information, that your signature block would identify yourself as a correspondence secretary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm just saying that because, and not as a ANC 5B03.
That's fine. I'm happy to add a corresponding secretary to that.
Okay, there you go. I just want to make sure so we can keep things, you know, those boundaries, so they'll know that you are, you know, pretty much distributing correspondence to these different, so they will be able to distribute it to their subgroups. Okay, so moving on quickly.
Well, Commissioner Carley, I'm sorry. I didn't get a
Yes.
chance to weigh in because I think
Oh,
my
I'm sorry.
WebEx.
Go ahead. I thought
No,
you
it's okay.
did when I said Commissioner Piekara, Commissioner Costello weighed in already. But go ahead.
I heard my name and then my WebEx cut off. Real quick, I
Okay.
just wanted to say, if we wanted to think about you know, like the big 5B email list, we could make it opt-in only. So we could say, here's a link to sign up to the big 5B email list. If you want to join, that's your choice. You can do it. You don't have to. So nobody would be like sharing anyone's information without permission. Two, I like your ideas for the correspondence secretary. And then the third thing I'll just flag for everyone's awareness, this position is also defined in Robert's rules. So if anyone ever wants to go back and take a look at it, there is a definition, and it basically says what our bylaws say, which is the person in that role would send out meeting notices and maintain records and make them available for people to inspect if they ever want to look at them. So that's it.
Right. Also, is it possible, Commissioner Piekara, that part of that signature block, yeah, part of your signature and identity block as a correspondence secretary for ANC 5B, is it possible that, you know, you can have some sort of basically linkage or something where you would have each commissioner listed, so you can say, you know what, get in touch with your commissioner, and not necessarily, you know, you need to know who may be seeking that information, but just where you have 5B01 all the way through 5B05 as something that, you know, they can kind of touch on that link if they need to get in touch with their commissioner for anything.
So what if and this is a suggestion, just anytime I'm sending information out, just kind of include a block at the bottom that says, you know, for if you have additional questions or need additional information, reach out to your commissioners, and it just lists all of our contact info.
Awesome.
Yeah, does that work?
That works.
Cool.
Okay, and so moving on, LOI and LOS, and one of the things that we wanted to focus more on is dealing with the community as a commission, and less as a single member district commissioner. So, and I'm going to give you an example. Anytime I have an LOI or an LOS, which I have never brought before the commission, and the whole time I've been on here, I've never ever brought a letter of support or a letter of intent before the commission board. The only time when I have gone out there and I have said and said, look, I need you to do this, and then if it doesn't happen, then I will present it at the council meeting and say, look, I have been doing this, and this. I don't think I'm getting anywhere as a commissioner. I want to bring it before the board to get great weight. And I think I've done it one time since I've been a commissioner. And so basically I brought it in, and in that resolution, I literally spelled out what I have done to no avail. And now basically here, I need great weight types. And that's how pretty much it read. So I'm just saying, you guys, you and every speed hump, the dag on camera that on South Dakota, everything has been done basically as a let's get out there, let's walk, let's meet, let's get them to meet us out here and tell them why we need this, and we made it happen as a community. So I'm just saying, if you have an LOI, an LOS, please do your work. You are empowered as a commissioner to be able to write these letters and hopefully, write it strong enough where they're taking you seriously. And then if you need great weight, please bring it to the commission. But let's not use that as your first line of defense, because basically we're watering down our positions as a commissioner. So 5B02 input.
Yes, Chair, thank you. I did have a LOI for the unenclosed cafe on 12th Street. And when I did inquire, they did state that I needed a full body commission vote in order to get great weight. For that enclosed cafe, as well as the sidewalk cafe that they're proposing. So I started reaching out to my community in December. Then I had a meeting in January with low attendance, and I have still been reaching out, and I actually sent out some more information on Monday to get more feedback, and which I have been getting now. So I will be bringing that, and as well as another resolution, because I got the information for the property located on between 10th and 12th on Newton Street Northeast. I finally talked to the property owner, so and I got notification from him, so I will be bringing that up for a vote.
Okay, and you said, okay, so for the resolution, and the resolution is a visa?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
And the
I sent that out to everybody. I think that's 1020 Newton Street Northeast.
Okay.
Yes. That's it.
Okay, and so you did reach out to the community and you did everything. Okay. All right, 5B03.
Sorry, just to be clear, are we still talking about the LOI, LOS, or are we talking about what resolutions we have on the agenda?
LOI, LOS.
Perfect. No, I think that's great. I agree, and I think that'll save space on our agenda going forward.
5B04.
Yeah, I concur. I also think it helps clarify for the community. I think the community, we have contributed in confusing the community about the resolution and the power of the resolution. And I think that I know the BNCA and a lot of civic associations kind of throw around a resolution, and the community thinks everything is just as easy as writing a resolution, or they feel like we're writing legislation or something like that. So I think I've always used the letter of support and the letter of intent, because when I first came on board, that's the way that I was trained. So I would love to see us go back, and like Commissioner Piekara said, it keeps things moving. And like Commissioner Carley said, then we take the power and the focus back when we use a resolution. Everything is just not a resolution. Resolutions really do nothing, to be honest with you, without all the other stuff. That's kind of broad, but yeah, we can write resolutions to the cows come home, and that doesn't mean that stuff's going to get done. So we have to talking about empowered, we can take the power back of the resolution.
And 5B05.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like what the proposal is, or maybe what Commissioner Amin is suggesting, is that if we want to support something, we do a letter of support. If we want to oppose something, we do a resolution? Or did I not understand that correctly?
No, if you can do a letter of support, and if you don't want to support it, you just don't support it. They just won't have it from you. I mean, you don't need a resolution to oppose something. The resolution is literally for something that, like a visa. I mean, it's not, you don't go around writing a resolution for every time you want something.
Right. I mean,
that's the point I'm trying to. Every time you want something, you don't have to write a resolution. I think as commissioners, we got to get out there and do our jobs.
well, okay. I mean, I guess I'll just say that, like, I meet with my constituents frequently on a number of issues. So if I'm doing a resolution, it's because we haven't made any headway with whatever the relevant agency is. You know,
Right,
despite best efforts.
But I have yet, like I said here, you say, look, I'm writing a resolution because we need, let's say, dog don't poop here signs. And I'm saying, you know, you got to reach out to these agencies, and you got to go over these agencies' heads, and you got to go to the supervisors and put in the work, you know, put in the time. And then if you said, look, I've done all this, because I've done it once in the 8 years, or I've done it one time, and that was for DCRA, which is why every time you see at the bottom of my paper, I'm saying, split them up, because they are wreaking havoc. And I had a house over here, this guy, they keep giving him fines after fines after fines, and then let him go back to work, fines after fines after fines. And finally, I was at my wit's end. I mean, at my wit's end, hell, I had gone all the way up to the chair of the commission. But I had put in time, a month after month after month, and then I said enough is enough, and I wrote a resolution and I sent it to every council member. I sent it to the mayor. I sent it to the director. I sent it to everybody. Like, enough is enough. So I'm just saying, that a resolution is not the first line of defense.
Of course, I agree with you on that.
Okay. All right. So, and if, let's just say, like Commissioner Higgins said, look, you know what, I went out there, I wanted to do a letter of support, and that's not going to, you know, suffice, that, you know, they want a letter because, you know, I know what they're trying to do and the permit that they're trying to get. So I understand why a letter of support is not going to be good enough. They're going to need something so that if anyone from your single member district say, well, why did y'all let them put these chairs out here? And then they say, look, we have a letter of support for 5B commission. 5B commission, the resolution right here saying, look, you know, it's okay. So you'll be voting on behalf of your constituents, basically. And that's what this is all about. So to keep on turning everything into a resolution is really time. It's taking away a lot of time that we could be doing a lot of other things and getting it done and, you know, and moving on. Okay?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. So, and I'm done. All right, resolutions. I have one. Anyone else? 5B02, is that the only resolution you have? $5B02. I still see your name, so I know you aren't here. Commissioner Higgins? We'll come back. 5B03.
Thank you, Chair. So still waiting to find a couple of things. First, we may have a resolution on the agenda to identify the 24/7 Quick Mart on Brentwood Strip as a nuisance property. I'm still waiting to hear back from Silas with Councilmember McDuffie's office on if that's necessary. He's trying to push some things on the council side. So he said he'll get back to me if a resolution will help him make that effort. So I will keep us posted, or I'll keep you posted on where that lands. We have a follow-up call next week on that. And then the only other two, I think, are around item number 10 on our agenda, which is I'd like for us as a commission to send a resolution to the council.
No, Commissioner. We'll stick with the subject. 5B03. I want you to stick with the subject. It's on there for a reason. Let's stick with the resolutions right now, please.
Oh yeah, so that's what I was asking though. I'd like to put forth a resolution.
We're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to get to that's Commissioner Costello. When I get to
Okay,
that,
I'm back. I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute. I had put my LOI and my resolution out. I'm sorry, when we had spoken previously. So my resolution is for 1020 Newton Street Northeast for the side space and the extended patio extension on the home. So that's the resolution that I'll be putting forward.
Okay, I got that. And Commissioner Costello, sorry, not Costello, Commissioner Preta, can you please give me that area again that you said that you want to identify as a nuisance property?
Yeah, I believe the exact address is 1358 Brentwood. Let me confirm, but it's where we've had the gun violence, and Councilmember McDuffie put the letter out about last week, calling on AG Racine's office to designate it as a nuisance property. Let me give you the exact address.
Wait a minute.
1358 Brentwood is. So like I said, we're already moving this with the mayor's office and with DCRA and others, but Silas is working on the council side to see if they can lower the bar, frankly, on what it takes to constitute a nuisance property. And so he has asked that if required, could I introduce a resolution for 5B declaring that specific property as a nuisance? And so he and I are going to keep in touch on if that's needed. And if so, I'll be bringing that to our body.
Okay. 5B04. You have a resolution?
Yeah, 5B04 will resubmit the resolution for the Reed Street project. I think by the time we get to the end of the month, Commissioner Piekara and Costello would have had a chance to do their community engagement and to thoroughly review the documents. I know that you folks are planning a meeting, so hopefully that will be enough time for us to get it on the agenda. Plus, they have a March sit down vote, so I definitely want it on the agenda. And I will be using the resolution that's in your package, so please familiarize yourself with it because it is pretty long, and I probably will not read a 3 or 4 page resolution for the community, but we can post it. And I will also use the BZA 129 as well. That's what I will submit to zoning. So I'm asking commissioners to be familiar with the resolution so we don't have to read 3 or 4 pages of resolution for the community, for ourselves.
Commissioner is it possible, because I know this Reed Street project is, few people are interested in it. Is it possible to have a map of where that property sits in your single member district?
Yeah, I think that what we could do is we could, like, from the I don't personally have a map, but I have enough time to try to look for one. But the other part is that I can always use the plans to show where it sits, because where it sits will show all its the development plans will also show all of its corresponding streets like Rhode Island and Michigan. Yeah.
And where it abuts the other single member district?
Yeah, exactly. Where are the butts? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. 5B05. We still are on 9. Do you have any resolutions?
Yeah, I have 3 different BZA cases. I put the numbers in the chat. One of them's a duplicate, so you can ignore the duplicate one. But the first one is case number 20664. The next one is 20648.
I'm looking for it.
Oh, okay. All the way at the bottom. It's the last one. Last couple ones.
All right. So
and then
20. Can you give that to me again, please?
Yeah. First one is 20664.
Okay.
Next one is 20648.
Okay.
And the last one is 20678. And I include
678.
Yeah. Yep. It's
busy. How do you end up with all these visas?
I don't know. I can't say I'm thrilled about it, but we've got. So there are 2 of them that are right next to one another, and there are 2 different developers that are renovating both properties almost simultaneously, so they just kind of came up at the same time.
Okay, so is that it for right now? And then we could go ahead and move on to 10 and I'm sorry, are we finished talking about the that's going on the agenda for our meeting this month?
Unless you wanted to talk about the two bills that we
I
were.
do. I did want to make
Okay.
sure. So that's it. All right. So basically, I did get an opportunity to skim through it. So if you can just, kind of paraphrase some things, and if that's something we'll get to that. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the safe passage to School Expansion Act is something that would. God, I have to remember. I keep getting both of them mixed up in my head. This would require DDOT to come up with new traffic calming designs for areas around schools. For instance, using speed humps or speed tables or something like that, curb extensions, improved signage that's more visible, etc. And it would require DDOT to install enhanced traffic calming around school zones throughout the city. The Walk Without Worry Act is a separate bill, and it would also require DDOT to come up with like new designs for making pedestrian passages safer. So, for instance, coming up with designs for continuous sidewalks or raised crosswalks. And then anytime there's a new like road project, like a construction project, the bill would require DDOT to make sure that they're using their new like pedestrian friendly designs in those projects so that people are, not getting hit by cars as easily as they seem to be.
Yeah. Okay. 5B02.
Sounds great to me.
5B03.
I think everyone knows where I stand. I very much want us as a commission to support this and add whatever weight we can to make sure that both of these get passed as soon as possible.
5B04.
Commissioner Piekara and Commissioner Costello has counsel, or I think I was introduced by Louis George. Have they asked for resolutions coming from the ANC? Is this why we're taking the initiative now?
Yeah, I think it was actually Councilmember Che, who heads the Transportation Committee, who said that getting support for these bills would be really helpful. And I think she has scheduled a hearing, not for one of these, but for a different one. Is that right, Commissioner Piekara?
Yeah, I'm looking up the exact date, but she did. Yeah, she said she welcomes letters individually. She said ANC resolutions will be really helpful in moving this forward. And then there's also the Vision Zero caucus that already put one forth as well. So I think she is trying to get as much documented support for these resolutions as possible. And so we've, I know other commissions, I've talked to other commissioners in 8 and 7 that are also drafting similar resolutions for passage this month.
Yeah, I definitely, good work, commissioners. I definitely think that's something that we should support. I know that it hasn't been passed, but I also something that funding is always one of the big issues. But those things can be worked out. But I think that we can be very very proactive at this point, and I support us moving forward with a resolution at this point on that.
All right.
And
Thank you.
Commissioner Costello, I know you kind of volunteered. So are you still, you got these 3 resolutions. That you already have to write. Are you able to write?
Yeah, so the BZA cases are just going to be Form 129s.
Okay.
I don't plan on doing anything major for those. It'll, unless there's something significant that comes up between now and our meeting, which I don't anticipate, it'll probably just be either we support it or we don't. And I will just flag for everybody's awareness. So two of those projects, they're both on Taylor Street. The two different developers, because they're like the 200 footers are not just my constituents, but also constituents over in ANC 5A. I think those constituents asked the developers last month to kind of go back to the drawing board and work out some differences between their two different designs. And so I assume we'll get those finalized by the end of this month. It's possible that they might need an extension of time before we can actually review what their revisions are. So it's possible two of those BZA forms won't even come up for a vote, but I'll keep you guys posted. I do want to make sure they're on the agenda at least for now so that we're prepared. But yeah, those are going to be pretty simple. So the resolution shouldn't be difficult.
Okay, great. All right. So, and I have no idea. I'm just, throwing it out here. Not sure what direction you're going to go in it. I just want you, just keep in mind that this is going to be a 5B, all schools in 5B. And if you mention one, you mention them all.
Yeah, I won't mention any schools.
Okay, and we just want to make sure that this reflects the fact that it is what we want in each and every one of the single member districts areas that, where a school is actually, serving students.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess what I would just say real quick is I think the focus would be on the council and encouraging the council to hold hearings on these measures and, approve them quickly.
Well,
so,
you also say why, right? You want to support it with
sure.
why.
Yeah, I'll send you guys draft text, and if you guys want to add anything, that's
right. Yeah. Hey, Chair Carley, I do have a question for commissioners. So, in this proposal, in this legislation that's pending, have they talked about what is the range or the feet that they're talking about around schools? And is this just around schools? Is this also, again, around rec centers and parks and all the other stuff that was discussed earlier? Are they talking 200 feet around schools, 500, 1,000 feet? Do you know at this point?
Yeah, I can pull it up for you. Give me just a second.
Yeah, only if it's too much trouble, because I can look it up. I don't want to keep us on any longer, Commissioner, but I just thought maybe you had it. You've been working on it, so I thought maybe you had it right there.
Well,
Yeah,
I do have
I
have the bill in front of me, sort of, but it's
it's
oh,
dense.
here we go.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the page that it's on.
I know it expands the actual space beyond just the immediate block. But let me see if it actually delineates a specific number. But
and we can get that later. If it's going to take you some time, because I just thought it was right there.
It's either 150 or 200 feet. I can tell you that much. I just don't remember which one it was.
Okay. Yeah. Good. And is it just schools with this legislation?
Yeah.
It's just schools. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So we are down to 2 minutes, although we are already 30 minutes over. But I put it 30 minutes, so just in case you kind of hold it at time when we did it. So this is our last thought. Commissioner Higgins, Vice Chair. What you got? I'm looking for my final thoughts, Commissioner Higgins.
No last thoughts. Great meeting. I'm glad we were able to really get through some things this evening. Very productive, very efficient. Other than that, that's it.
If it was great, it's because we made it great as a group. All 5 of us. Oof. I'm sorry, you guys. I've been up for 2 weeks watching tennis, and I tell you, I'm tired watching Rafael Nadal get 21. So, anyway, 5B03.
Yeah, my compliments to the chair. I think this is one of the kind of smoothest run meetings. I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate you carving out time for every commissioner to weigh in on every agenda item. I think that was really democratic of you, and I really appreciate you being so intentional with how you run these meetings. I am looking forward to the year ahead.
Thank you. 5B04.
Yeah, I have to agree with everybody else. This has been a really good meeting. I think that if we want to have good meetings, it falls back on us as individuals, how we come to our meetings. So, yeah, I think that if we want to move forward, I'd like to see us work together and move forward, and to not. I think we were the only commission that put all of our stuff out there after every meeting. And I just think it was really bad for us. And I hope that we kind of can refrain from that this year and focus in on just running our commission effectively. And this is the part that I want to say. I think we're a very, very talented group. We come in with so much experience, so many different areas of expertise. And I think that we wasted a lot of that capital last year with our internal fights. But when you look at us individually and you look at us collectively, we are like so talented in our diversity and our experience. And I hope that we really tap in on that and we respect each other as we move into this year. Because the reality is that this is the last year that 5B will be an existing 5B, and that all of us will serve together. So please, commissioners, I appeal this. Let's try to go out there and have a good face and move forward as a group and get some things done. Because we got some big stuff like going. You know, we're moving forward on the first PUD out of Brookland, one of the biggest PUDs in the city, in the history of the city and for the future of the city. And you know, people want to see what we're going to do there. So yeah, and I'm coming from 5B04, but this, you know, we're all building our legacies here. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner. 5B05.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Commissioner Piekara said. This was a really well-run meeting. I really liked the agenda format, and taking turns was really helpful and kind of kept the crosstalk way down. So thank you very much for this and for, running a really well-run meeting. And I look forward to the next year working with you guys.
Thank you guys for the meeting. You guys did a great job. I really appreciate the feedback and your input and us working together as a commission as we should be. Good night. Meeting adjourned.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.